My dear viewers of Madani Channel, let's listen the excellence of reciting salat upon the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. The beloved and blessed Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam has said, when Thursday arrives, Allah Azza wa Jal sends angels who have papers made of silver and pens made of gold. They write the names of those who recite salat on the Prophet sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam in abundance on the day of Thursday and the night of Friday. That means the night between Thursday and Friday. पढ़ता रहूं कसरत से दुरूद उन पे सदा मैं और जिक्र का भी शौक पे गौस व रज़ा दे सल्लु अलल हबीब सल्लल्लाहु ताला अला मुहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु ताला अलैहि वसल्लम. Sayyiduna Aisha Siddiqa रज़ी अल्लाह ताला anha has narrated that once the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam laying on his bed, covered with my shawl. In the meantime, Sayyiduna Abu Bakr Siddiq رضی اللہ تعالی عنہ sought permission from the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to enter. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam granted him permission. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam then fulfilled his need and he left. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sitting in the same state with the shawl on him. Then Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu sought permission from the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam granted him permission to enter and fulfilled his need, and he also left. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam remained covered in the shawl in the same state. The Sayyiduna Usman-e-Ghani radiallahu sought permission and entered. The noble Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam sat straight up and said to Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha, take your shawl. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam then fulfilled the need of Sayyiduna Usman-e-Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu, and he also left. Sayyidatuna Aisha Siddiqa radiallahu ta'ala anha humbly asked, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon the arrival of Sayyiduna Usman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, you did not do what you did when Sayyiduna Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu and Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu entered. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam replied, Usman-e-Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu is very modest. If I had granted him permission in the same state, then there was a fear that his need would have not been fulfilled. That means he would have gone back without saying anything. Ya Ilahi, de hame bhi dawlate sharmo haya, Hazrate Usman-e-Ghani ba haya ke waste. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, have you heard Usman-e-Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was brought up by the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was so modest that the embodiment of modest himself sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam respected his modesty, and the innocent angels of Allah Azza wa Jal also felt shy from him. Sayyiduna Abdullah bin Amir bin Rabi'ah radiallahu ta'ala anhu has said, on the day of the Sage, we were with the Amirul Mu'mineen Sayyiduna Usman-e-Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Sayyiduna Usman-e-Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, I swear by Allah Azza wa Jal, I never committed fornication during the pre-Islamic era of ignorance, nor have I committed it after embracing Islam. Instead, after embracing Islam, my modesty has further increased. Dear viewers of Madani Channel, we have just heard a faith-refreshing parable about the very beautiful attribute of modesty of Sayyiduna Usman-e-Ghani radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Let's listen to some glimpse of his blessed life history regarding this. His name is Usman, filial appellation is Abu Amr, and titles are Jami al-Quran and Zun Nurain. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu is the third caliph amongst the Khulafai Rashideen. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu married two daughters of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one after another. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu resembled Sayyiduna Ibrahim and beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam to a great extent. Some blessed Quranic ayahs were revealed in his glory. Even angels would feel shy from him. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu migrated twice in the path of Allah Azza wa Jal. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu was a very famous trader and an extremely generous person. The beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave him the good news of being blessed with paradise. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu reached the age of 82. He radiallahu ta'ala anhu was oppressively martyred while he was reciting the Holy Quran in the state of observing fasting. رکھا محصور ان کو بند ان پر کر دیا پانی شہادت حضرت عثمان کی بے شک ہے لاسانی. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, just ponder that this is the state of the modesty of one of the blessed companions رضی اللہ تعالی عنہم, of the beloved and blessed Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam. So what would be the state of the modesty of the embodiment of modesty sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam? Regarding the modesty of the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam, a renowned companion, Sayyiduna Abu Sayyid Khudri radiallahu ta'ala anhu has said, the beloved Rasul sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wasallam was more modest than a maiden in her purdah. Elaborating on the above mentioned hadith, a renowned commentator, Mufti Ahmad Yar Khan Naimi rahmatullahi ta'ala has said, when a maiden is about to get married, she is made to sit in a corner of the house. It is called sitting the girl in Mayo in Urdu. The girl is very shy at this time. She feels shy with the family members and does not freely talk to anyone. The shyness of the beloved Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was more than this. Modesty is a special secret quality of a man. The stronger his faith will be, the more modest he will be. آقا کی حیا سے جھکی رہتی نظر اکثر آنکھوں پہ میرے بھائی لگا قفل مدینہ. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, a person usually has to pass through 3 stages in his life. Number 1, childhood. Number 2, youth. Number 3, old age. In childhood, human nature is attracted to sport and play. Body parts get weak in old age. He suffers from diseases and is less inclined to sins and worships more. Whereas in youth, this is an important stage of life in which the inner desires dominate human nature. Since at this stage of life, the parts of the body are safe and healthy, the youth being the testimony of youth is crazy. Forget their purpose of life. Instead of spending these precious moments of life in acts that please Allah Azza wa Jal, they destroy them in acts of immodesty. Therefore, the ideal lives of our pious saints play a worthy role for us to protect the youth from the destructions of immodesty. No matter how hard the nafs and Satan tempted them to commit sins, these holy personages remain modest even in the prime of their youth, and in return, they became deserving of the favors and honors for their acts from the court of Allah Azza wa Jal. Let's listen to a faith-refreshing parable of a modest young man. In the blessed era of Sayyiduna Umar Farooq Azam radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, there was a young man who was very pious and used to worship a lot. Sayyiduna Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu would also be surprised at his worship. After performing Isha Salah in the masjid, this young man would go to and look after his old father. On the way, a beautiful woman would call him towards her, but he would not pay any attention to her and would pass by, keeping his gaze lowered. Finally, one day, the young man moved towards her with an evil intention due to a satanic whisper and her call. As he reached the door, he recalled the blessed saying of Allah Azza wa Jal. It is stated in part 9 of Surah Al-A'raf, ayah number 201, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ اتَّقَوْا إِذَا مَسَّهُمْ طَائِفٌ مِّنَ الشَّيْطَانِ تَذَكَّرُوا فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْصِرُونَ. Upon recalling the blessed ayah, his heart was so overpowered with the fear of Allah Azza wa Jal that he fell down unconscious. When much time had passed and he did not reach his home, his old father went out in search for him. After finding him, with the help of some people, he took him home. As he gained consciousness, his father asked him about the whole incident. Having explained the whole incident, the young man mentioned the blessed ayah. Again, he was overpowered with extreme fear of Allah Azza wa Jal. He screamed loudly and passed away. His ghusl undertaken and burial were carried out in the night. In the morning, when this incident was related to Sayyiduna Umar radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, he went to his father to express his condolences. He radiyallahu ta'ala anhu told him, "Why did you not inform me in the night? I would have also attended the funeral." The old father humbly said, "Ya Amirul Mu'mineen, keeping your rest in mind, I did not find it suitable." He رضی اللہ عنہ said, "Take me to his grave." Having reached there, he recited the following blessed ayah, وَلِمَنْ خَافَ مَقَامَ رَبِّهِ جَنَّتَانِ. Translation from Kanzul Iman, and for one who fears to stand before his Lord are two gardens. The young man said loudly by calling out from inside his grave, Ya Amirul Mu'mineen, indeed my Rabb has granted me two paradises. فرما کی شفاعت میری اے شافع محشر، فرما کی شفاعت میری اے شافع محشر، دوزخ سے بچا کر مجھے جنت میں بسانا. My dear viewers of Madani Channel, have you heard how strong Madani mindset of performing acts of worship and protecting themselves from immodesty the pious people had even in the prime of their youth, that they used to spend most of their time in worshipping Allah Azza wa Jal and looking after their parents. Those holy personages used to be fully aware of satanic tricks. That's why, despite being able to commit sins, they used to protect their gazes and used to protect themselves from acts of immodesty. Remember, Satan is the enemy of Muslims from the beginning. He tries his best to divert Muslims from the path of the righteous people to the path of evils, so that modesty can be removed from the society and shamelessness and immodesty can spread out. Therefore, the wise people should follow these pious predecessors and continue to fight against the accursed Satan. Beware to never be attracted towards the deceptions of Satan. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Allah Azza wa Jal has forbidden Muslims from obeying Satan. It is stated in ayah 168, 169 of Surah Al-Baqarah part 2, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ إِنَّمَا يَأْمُرُكُمْ بِالسُّوءِ وَالْفَحْشَاءِ وَأَن تَقُولُوا عَلَى اللَّهِ مَا لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Translation from Kanzul Iman, and do not follow the footsteps of the devil. Undoubtedly, he is your open enemy, for he will only instruct you towards evil and immodesty, and that you fabricate matters concerning Allah Azza wa Jal, what you do not know. May Allah Azza wa Jal protect us from Satan and his tricks and give the path of righteous people.
We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel. We love Madani Channel.